Hey guys, I know a lot of you have been asking, what's the best engine oil for cold climates? To name a few, based on cost, availability, and convenience. Number 1, AMSOIL Signature Series. Now I'm not saying this is the best engine oil out there, but definitely one of the best on the market. However, I will say that they do have really high premium. This is what you want to take in consideration if you do want a great oil, but you don't want to pay the high price. AMSOIL might not be for you. Number 2, Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. Another great engine oil, one of the best on the market, just like AMSOIL. However, it does have a high premium as well. Number 3, Liqui moly. Liqui moly is a great engine oil. A little bit high priced, but I will say that it's definitely one of the best on the market too. And this may come down to availability for you. It may be easier for you to get your hands on Liqui moly. Number 4, Mobil 1 Annual Protection. The availability for this one is really great. They carry it everywhere. It has better availability than the previous ones that I mentioned. Even Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, believe it or not, is kind of hard to get your hands on, and it's really expensive. Mobil 1, it doesn't have the greatest price tag ever, but it offers great protection. Now next up, we have SUPERTECH, one of the lowest priced engine oils, but at a great quality. Now that's not the only thing you can do. If you're really concerned with your engine oil that much, and that startup wear that occurs at about 75%, which is definitely the worst, meaning that your engine's wearing out much faster when you're just starting it up for the first time of the day than while you're driving it. So a few things you can do. It'll also help your engine start up in extreme cold temperatures. Not to mention cut back on that wear. You can add an engine oil heater to this. You can use the magnetic style heater that just slap it on there and you're good to go. You can just plug it in to a 110 volt outlet. That's all you need. Also, they have the 12 volt ones or the 120 volt ones that you can use that have an adhesive. And they're almost as flat as a piece of paper, but they get extremely hot. You can slap it onto your engine oil and you really won't have to worry about it burning your oil. I know a lot of people have concerns saying that it burns the oil, etc., etc., but the ones on the outside, they're not quite as bad. However, you will need to leave it on a little bit longer. Now guys, you'll definitely not want to forget to change your windshield washer fluid. You may use a different washer fluid during the summer. However, you may consider using a de-icer. Not to mention, you don't want your washer fluid to freeze up because it gets too cold for the washer fluid that you purchased. Now most washer fluid does do pretty well in cold temperatures, so unless you're in an extreme situation, you may not have to worry about that. Next up, the tires. You realize when the seasons change, it gets colder and then hotter, hotter than colder. It's going to change the pressure in your tires, so you want to make sure to check those out. You won't lose fuel economy, you won't wear your tires out. I mean, it's a smoother ride. You don't want to buy extra tires for something that you could have prevented. You also want to check out the coolant. Make sure the coolant is mixed properly. Check to make sure it's a 50-50 mix. However, always refer to your owner's manual to make sure that that is exactly what your vehicle requires, and if you add any coolant to it, you want to make sure that it's the coolant that the vehicle does require. So you want to change your coolant usually about every 5 years, depending on what kind of coolant you're using, or if the coolant looks really funky looking, it looks like there's dirt or sulfur materials in the coolant, you'll want to definitely clean this out. Try not to clog your heater core up, or you'll be doing without heat as well. Because if you don't check your coolant, you could crack the block, and that would be disastrous. Bye-bye engine. You're talking about $5,000–$10,000 depending on the vehicle, maybe more, maybe a little less. That's not even counting the labor. So you want to avoid that at all costs. If there's anything I've forgotten, guys, please drop down in the comments and let us know. One thing I like to do, even though we don't really have bad winters here typically, just in case I'm in a bad situation, what I'll do, because this newer vehicle I have, won't allow you to put chains on it because there's really no clearance for chains. What I do is I'll carry a full-size shovel, except the shaft of the shovel is really short, so it fits in my trunk really well. And I've been stuck in snow multiple times, and it's only because the vehicle starts to bottom out on the snow. So I'll reach in there and shovel some snow out, and once the car gets moving again, it'll only get stuck once I'm stopped. Now I wouldn't suggest driving in these crazy conditions, but if you're in a jam, that's your decision to make, not mine. That will help you avoid being stuck. Now if you can use chains, you may want to consider doing that, or even studded tires. I want to thank you for watching Nate's Interactive Auto.